What's going on, people? It is Irish Connor HD here. You can call me Irish, and today I thought I would talk a little bit about Forza 6 Apex, which has just been confirmed by Microsoft for to be released on PC. More specifically on the Windows 10 store, but we will get into that. So let's just get straight into it. Basically, so it's been confirmed. It's there's like links in it. I'll put links in the description to like the launch trailer and like an article like where I've kind of gotten some of this information from. As I said, it's exclusive to the Windows 10 store. And due for a spring release. No exact date given, but spring release definitely. Hopefully. I probably shouldn't say definitely when it comes to game release times. So basically, some of the features that we can look forward to are DX12 support and 4K resolution. That was one of the things that they pushed kind of strongly in that video, was 4K resolution. No mention of the FPS, but even on Forza, or even on the Xbox 360, Forza Motorsport 3 and 4 both ran at fairly solid 60 FPS, whereas Forza Horizon, I think, was always locked to, Forza Horizon 1 at least was definitely locked to 30 FPS, and Forza Motorsport was always like stuck to 60, which was good. And we can hope for the same, hopefully better, but I believe one of the issues that I'll talk about when it comes to the Windows 10 store is that games are locked to 60 FPS potentially. So again, we'll get into that in a little bit. Where are we now? So it's going to be free to play, which is concerning, to say the least. I know a lot of people that have seen this as being free to play. The first thing you had, like me included, the first thing you immediately jump to is microtransactions. Microsoft free to play, it's going to be like riddled with microtransactions, surely. And it's not like they don't have a precedent for it. If anyone remembers Forza Motorsport 5, that whole scenario. Apparently that, I never even played the game, didn't get an Xbox One, never played Forza Motorsport 5, had no interest in it. After the amount of kind of content that they cut from Forza 4 and stuff. But apparently that game was riddled with microtransactions that were really, really kind of offensive at first. So it's going to be free to play. So it's going to be, on one hand, it's good that everyone can try it. Everyone can experience in some way what it's like to play Forza Motorsport, or to play a Forza Motorsport game. Because they are very good games. But, being free to play, as I said, microtransactions, what are they going to cut out? It's definitely cut down, like as I'll go on to explain in a second. It's definitely cut down to make it like as they're calling it, Forza 6 Apex. It's been confirmed to be a cut down version of Forza Motorsport 6. Sorry. But I don't think it's going to be as like kind of offensively cut down as something like Race Room Experience. I don't know if any of you have ever played this game. It's a free to play kind of racing simulator-esque kind of thing on Steam, and basically it shows you all the possibly up to 100 plus, loads of cars. They've got heaps and heaps of cars in that game. But they don't actually tell you that they're locked behind paywall until you try to select them when you go for a race. Which is kind of really, I use the word offensive. I'm not sure if that's exactly what I mean. But it's just it's a really cheap, crappy tactic to do, to get people into the game, playing the game, show them what's available, and only when they actually get excited and try to select the car that they want to use, then you tell them, no, it's not available, it's locked. I don't think it'd be anything like that. I don't think the selection of cars, if that's how they go about it, if they go about it with microtransactions with whole entire cars, I don't think, and I hope that it won't be as offensive as that and kind of in your face as that. Hopefully it'd be for skins or something along those lines, race kind of liveries and stuff. Or maybe wheels, accessories, or something like that. Again, I wouldn't like to see that, but maybe that's something that would be just a little less in your face than kind of charging you straight up for cars. So basically, how many cars, how many tracks? There's going to be 63 Forza Vista cars, so 63 fully modeled HD kind of 4K cars in it, basically, that have the Forza Vista feature, which, if again you don't know, if you've never played a Forza game before, it's a feature that they brought out in, I want to say Forza 4. I'm not sure if Forza 3 had it. But basically what it is you can walk around the cars, you can select a button and open the door, open the boot, open the bonnet, kind of sit into the car, press little buttons, start the engine and stuff like that. Definitely in Forza 4 you could get kind of Top Gear commentary from Jeremy Clarkson by pressing on certain areas of the car, which is really cool. So all 63 of the cars, if that does turn out to be the case, that's all that's in it, and they're all Forza Vista cars, so that's pretty interesting. Again, it's kind of gimmicky. I was kind of bored after 2 cars in Forza 4. Maybe I just you'd go through them all just to hear what Jeremy Clarkson would have had to have said, or would have what he said about them. But overall, they're kind of it's kind of a little bit gimmicky, but it is kind of cool that every single car. So we don't have a repeat of GTA or Gran Turismo 5, I think it was, that brought out premium cars and standard cars. Like we don't want to repeat that kind of shit show. So yeah, that's the amount of cars. 63 Forza Vista cars. No really specific to, like, other than what you see in the trailer. Like you can watch the trailers and see for yourself. They're obviously the cars in that kind of trailer are going to be obviously confirmed because they're the launch trailer for it. But yeah, other than that, like no official list or anything like that. Yeah. Next up, then there's 6 locations. So they claim 20 track variations or 20 track ribbons, as they call it in their little release thing. 20 track ribbons or variations, layouts, if you will, across 6 locations. So basically, what that means is you've got Brands Hatch, Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, Rio de Janeiro, Sebring International Raceway, the Top Gear Test Track, and Yas Marina, the Abu Dhabi GP Grand Prix kind of circuit. And basically what that means is you've got those 6 locations and then just 20 variations between the 6 of them. So obviously not 20 variations for each track, but you know what I mean. So that's kind of cool. Like it's not a whole lot of tracks. There's no Japanese tracks. There's no drift tracks. They just seem to completely have given up on drifting in the Forza over there at Turn 10 Studios. They just, I don't know, between stripping out the likes of Sakuba and stuff like that in Forza 5. I don't know. They just seem to be completely against drifting, which is beyond me. But anyway, yeah, that's that basically. That's that piece of information. It has the kind of standard, typical Xbox Forza features that you'd come to expect: drive avatar, achievements, that kind of thing. You can get like unlock. I think it was up to like 1,000 not Microsoft points. What do they call them? Like achievement points or gamer score. That's the one. 1,000 gamer score. And then basically, yeah, that's kind of all the news, I think. So here's some kind of like, well, last but not least, there's going to be no multiplayer and no wheel support. That's quite a kick in the balls. Like let's not sugarcoat it. A racing game with no wheel support and no multiplayer is a kick in the balls, a kick in the teeth to racing fans. For like people that like to race with each other, for drifters who want to tandem online, just even for people that want to play alone but just want to use their wheels. Like I've got like a nice €250, €300 wheel here sitting here that I won't be able to use in it. It doesn't make any sense, and it's a G920, so like it's the Logitech Microsoft Xbox One version of the wheel. Why doesn't it work? It's nonsense. But yeah, that's the official stance as of right now. Apparently, is no multiplayer, no wheel support. I wanted to just touch on it being a Windows 10 Store exclusive for a second, though. The Windows 10 Store has some issues. Now, again, there's so many conflicting reports about this kind of stuff because it's still relatively fresh. It's only in the last like week or so that this has all kind of started to pop up. The Windows Store issues that I've read about are that games will either have no or broken VSync options. I've even read some things where it's like it's VSync always on, which might be a bit strange, but there is also no true full screen mode. And as somebody who only plays my games in full screen mode, I don't like borderless windowed. I don't like windowed full stop. I don't understand why that would be the case. Now, apparently, these are all things that Microsoft are aware of. They're not exactly They're not exactly like hard set on them. Like they're like apparently the VSync issue is actually a problem that like it's a bug or whatever that they're going to fix. I haven't seen anything now about the full screen mode support. And then also there's things like they lock the game files. Like you have to do some kind of roundabout way of getting into your game files if you want to like do anything like that. Which is obviously, among other things, it limits modding. So basically it means that there's no possibility of modding the games if you can't get to the freaking files. Like so yeah, that's a thing. So the fact that it's coming to the PC is good, but the fact that it's a Windows 10 Store exclusive, not so good. Not such a great thing. Yeah, so they're the facts. Basically, they're the facts, and I was just going to kind of quickly wrap up with my thoughts. Basically, it's gonna suck. Like it's gonna suck. There's no doubt about it. Everything that we've seen here it just screams terrible. Just screams really, really bad. But it's a first step. It's a testing ground of sorts, like for hopefully a fully fledged release of Forza Motorsport 7 on the PC. So like so just to, it's going to be bad. No wheel support, 63 cars, 6 locations. It's not going to be a terribly good game, no multiplayer, no mod support. It's not going to be a good racing game by PC gamer standards. But even by previous Forza gamer standards, it's going to be shit. But again, it's a stepping stone. It's a starting point. It's a taster. It's going to be free. It's going to get people into it. And hopefully by the time they do release Forza 7 or Forza Horizon 3, either one, wouldn't really complain. Forza Horizon's a great little game as well. Hopefully the kind of foundations will be there to make the sales for those good, make it worthwhile, have Microsoft actually really consider the PC a viable platform in the future. In theory, the kid in me is like the kid in me who at like whatever age I would have been, 16, 17, back in 2009 when I first got Forza 3, the kid in me who would like happily crash backwards into the wall on Sunset Club repeatedly while trying to learn how to drift with my mates back then. In theory, I'm stoked. In theory, I want to be very happy and very like happy to see like such a cherished series of mine. Like it really is. Like, as you know, if you follow me on this channel, I started off basically with Forza videos, Will It Drift, and that kind of thing. It is a series that's very, very dear to my heart. So like in theory, I'm stoked to see that it's finally making its way onto the platform that it deserves to be on. Like there's no doubt about it. A game of its caliber and of the stuff like of what it's done in the past, like to move on console racing, the console racing genre, to see it finally make its way to the PC does, like in theory, have me stoked. However, the platform that we're talking about here also has Project Cars. It also has Assetto Corsa, which has full mod support, by the way. I know Project Cars doesn't. I think you can like edit in skins or something like that, but Assetto Corsa has full mod support. I think my game file or my game folder for Assetto Corsa is like nearly 100 gigs or something like that now at this stage with all the cars and tracks that I've downloaded. It has iRacing, which is an incredible simulator according to most reports. It has Need for Speed, it has Burnout, and it has everything in between. It doesn't necessarily need it. It doesn't necessarily need Forza. Like we have, like the racing genre is covered, and then there is other things that aren't as good. Like I said, race room experience, and then like or factor and stuff like that. Older games. But as I said, this game isn't going to get as much of a look in for most people, even as a free game. But for a full release of Forza 7 going forward, with all the potential there for its customization, because that's one of the things that most of these games, a lot of these games, like the large majority of these games is missing, is the fantastic customization of Forza. The Forza series have always had good customization, not always the best. I've always moaned about like the body kit options and the wheel options and stuff like that. Wish that they'd kind of update them and stop reusing the same ones every single variation of the game. But it does by far and away. Like Project Cars doesn't have any customization. Assetto Corsa doesn't have customization, like without like literally modding the game, like to add in bumpers and stuff like that or spoilers. And while you can get obviously customized cars, like you can download fully like Rocket Bunny like GTS or GT86s or whatever. It's not quite the same, and you can tune them. Just the customization I've always found in Forza to be the most enjoyable. Like it's very easy to understand and wrap your head around. Yeah, basically, it's that is something to look forward to. So while this kind of Forza 6 Apex might not be great, might not be something terribly exciting, a full release, as I said, of Forza 7 is definitely something to get excited about. Excuse me. Overall, I'm just going to wrap up at this point. Overall, I'm happy with Assetto Corsa and Project Cars. I'm happy to stay with them for the foreseeable future. I'm cool with that. That like these are perfectly good games. I would have no complaints if Forza 7 never came out. But I think it's only a good thing. I think it's only a good thing that Microsoft is finally giving the PC its deserved attention. Like especially considering that it's not just Forza 6, it's Gears of War Ultimate Edition released today. Kind of went under the radar, priced only at €30 as well, as far as I remember seeing it, or $30 perhaps. And then as well as like many other formerly Xbox exclusive games being what other ones was there? I can't remember now off the top of my head. But many other games that were Xbox exclusives either have already or will like potentially and rumoredly be coming out on the PC in the future. And that's very good. That's a very exciting thing. And it's the future's looking bright. So that's it. That's all the notes that I had. Again, I had them all written down. So if I sounded like I was reading from a sheet, I do apologise. I tried to keep it as natural as possible. But yes, very interesting news. Forza 6 variant coming to the PC. Let me know what you think, especially for some of the older subscribers who've watched me for like like the 3 years, 4 years, or whatever it is that I've been doing this now. Like, what do you think about like the Forza players, basically? What do you guys think? And yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.